We shall now have an example debate on how was the debates conducted in the Constituent Assembly regarding the topic called fundamental rights. So look at here, it was a date of 29th of April 1947 where the Honorable President was sitting in his chair, Mr. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who was sitting there, and we have these candidates who are asking questions on the issue of the fundamental rights. Actually, they are not asking on the issue of fundamental rights, they were discussing about the topic called untouchability. The untouchability was mentioned in the clause of 6th clause. Mr. Pramod Ranjan has raised an issue that what is the meaning of untouchability? We are using this word from 25 years past. What is the exact meaning of the word untouchability? What would be the criteria to say that this is untouchability? That should be determined very clearly, otherwise we can't come into the clarity like what is going to be untouchability for the people, because we have various kinds of untouchabilities. Then the other members of the committee like Mr. S.C. Banerjee also made a statement that even though Mahatma Gandhi was the forerunner of untouchability, who called them as Harijans, who clearly stated the entry of them into the temples or allowing them to drink water with a glass or allowing them to be in the public meeting of lunch or all these things or public dining and all these things. So what is the exact meaning of untouchability is a view expressed by Mr. S.C. Banerjee. Then Sri Rohini came forward and expressed his view that there should be a clear definition stating that there should be ban of any kind of discrimination on untouchability. That is called untouchability. This is a definition determined by that. Then moving on to the view of Mr. M.K. Munshi. M.K. Munshi put forth his views that it should be better to add it that irrespective of race, category, region or sex, any discrimination basing on birthplace or any place of region or his sex also should be considered as untouchability. That also should not be spared. Then Mr. Dhirendranath came with a view that it would not be better or appropriate to add sex towards this or the birthplace, but it should be made clear that untouchability should not be in any point of time or any context should be valid in any corner of the world. It should be left out for the judges. Then we got the another opinion that if the judges are given the right to determine what is untouchability, some judges would determine that X is an untouchability factor, then the other judges may determine that Y is an untouchability factor. In some regions, X may be an untouchability factor, the other regions may not consider X as an untouchability factor. So, in order to get clarity on what is untouchability, in order to get knowing what is untouchability and clearly determine the laws and people get the rights equally determined for them, we should have the clarity on untouchability. After listening to the entire discussions of the untouchability, the Honorable President sitting on the chair, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, made a clear statement that the legislature, the Union legislature will make a clear definition of untouchability, and it is a responsibility of the Union legislature to determine the punishment also, or the offences which are considered against the untouchability should be punished very strictly and severely. This, after a thorough discussion on the untouchability, we came to a conclusion that untouchability should not be spared at any point of time. Any kind of untouchability should not be accepted in any corner of the nation. So, Mr. President agreed it and gave a call to the Union government to make a clear statement on what is untouchability. It is excluded from the Central Constituent Assembly to make on the abolition of untouchability, but it should be given for the Union government to determine what is untouchability and what are the consequences if you do untouchability or if you discriminate anybody on the basis of the untouchability. In this way, the discussions were very healthy and positive, and they were very much broad-minded to discuss on any point of time. This is just an example for us like how was our constitution framers discussing about the various issues before they were incorporated into this. Untouchability was abolished, and we got this in Article 17. Any kind of untouchability or any kind of discrimination is not at all spared, and we can move on to get our rights of equality here in this point of untouchability. This was a great step taken by our constitution framers. Through thorough discussion, we got the abolition of untouchability. Earlier, there are even many villages where the discrimination is followed. Let us hope that the constitution reaches to the ground level and nobody faces the untouchability further.